for each other. So, can you tell us about more supernatural thing that has happened to you or have witnessed something you feel strongly was divine intervention? Um, I so one thing I had, and I think we have this in common because I saw in your testimony video. I remember after I just don't talk about this much because I don't think that you should expect some certain things that happen for different people, right? And so I don't want it to seem like, okay, you're not a Christian if you didn't experience these things. But I remember after I got baptized too, the entire world looked different to me. I remember colors were brighter. The
What
world
the heck, man?
looked physically
That's
different.
straight out of my testimony
I
video.
remember
Shut
you
up,
saying
man.
that, and that's what made me think. I was like, man, I wonder how common this is.
Hey,
which is interesting.
hey, here's John. And then I went to jail,
When I went to-
and I met a Christian. His name was
Andy.
Andy.
Andy. But no, I distinctively remember that, and I remember it lasted for a while. I felt at peace. I think this is kind of typical too of a lot of Christians who have a conversion. You feel at peace. You're kind of fired up. You're excited. And I just remember the world physically looked different to me. And I remember seeing in his testimony video, he said something along those lines and made me wonder. I mean, I have no idea how many people experience that, but I have. But I'm hesitant to tell people as if it's expected because I don't assume that it's something that happens to everyone.
Yeah, see, it's actually a
scripture.
problem when people are like trusting in certain experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah, because your faith, ultimately, your trust goes to Christ and what He did, and if you believe and what the Word says about that, rather than a subjective experience that you may or may not have or a feeling of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all kinds of things, but so I've seen things like that. But at the end of the day, it's and this is connected to like atheists. I've given you this argument and that argument and this argument and that argument, and I've got this argument and that argument and so on. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, people. I know what was in my own mind back then. I know what that was like, and I talked about this in my testimony video, but like. Words really can't express how screwed up I was. So this going back to right before my
about last week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Going back to right before my conversion, I mean, I was starving myself to death. So right now I'm about 200 and between 235, 240 pounds. I got down to, I think 150, between 150 and 152. The last time they weighed me the last time they weighed me I was 152, and I fasted a couple more days than that. So I assume I was down to 150, which that would be a good weight for a normal sized person. For me, it was that I had this rash all under me. It's around my waist, and so I'm scratching myself. I was drooling so much that like I couldn't like focus on spitting, so I put a cup on the floor beside my bunk, and I would just let drool run out of my mouth into the cup, so I didn't have to keep keep spitting and so on. So I'm sitting there. The doctor says he's gonna tube feed me. They say they're gonna send me to my lawyer tells me they're gonna send me to Miriam mental hospital and so on. And I just sit there and I'm just thinking about like fantasizing about strapping people down and like peeling their skin off and stuff like that. And I say a prayer. Like, God, if you can do anything with me, you're welcome to it. And all of a sudden it all just goes away. It just goes away. I didn't want to do that anymore. And so it all changes instantly. At the end of the day, you're an atheist and you can come up with all sorts of arguments, and I can think about those arguments and consider them and so on. I can't ignore that. I can't ignore. I can't. So we want to be careful about saying, hey, don't trust your feelings and so on, your experiences, because they can be kind of misleading. But there are things like that where I don't know how to. Oh yeah. No, it was. I mean, even to the point. That's the point. I mean, I saw the evidence. It didn't give me certainty. Yeah. It showed me that I hadn't thought through this, and I might be wrong. And it looked like the evidence is pointing in that direction. And so it's kind of okay, maybe this is true. Maybe this is true. Why don't I pray here? So like if you were to pray and nothing happens, I don't want to say, oh, nothing happens, because you're not guaranteed some sort of like feelings or experience or something like that. So don't judge it by that. Judge it by what God has revealed. But some people do, and at the end of the day, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what I don't know how your argument as an atheist is going to make. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I guess none of that did happen. Like, what are you talking about? I know it happened.
And if you guys haven't seen his testimony video, it's definitely wild. I remember when I remember when I first started watching it, I was like, wait, am I misunderstanding what's going on here? Like, what is this? It was wild.
I'm getting flooded with comments lately of atheists just going, this entire story is made up. He doesn't have a prison record. I just respect. It's funny because I could instantly just pull out my box of papers and like put it up on the screen, say, oh, what is this here? Did I make this up? And there are atheists going, we checked. He doesn't have a prison record. And I go, oh, great. Well, I guess everyone was lying to me. Oh, wow. I can have a gun. I can vote. Well, this is great. Right? So I keep messing with them. Why don't you prove it? And they don't realize. I think it's way more funny to just mess with them like that. If it ever became like some huge issue, like, oh, we refuse. But I keep saying, I was like, look, if you really want to know, go to Virginia Beach Courthouse, walk in, say David Wood, charged 1994, convicted 1995, sentenced 1996, malicious wounding, inmate number 236390. Go ahead, check it out. But they're just prove to us. Like,
and it's not like you invented it to help your
I point out, I'm like, okay, so let me get this straight. You think I invented a story about trying to murder my dad with a hammer and then going to multiple mental hospitals, multiple jails, and prison. And I guess all my family knows I just made this up, right? I mean, does my dad know I made it? Does everyone know I just made up this story? Or have they not encountered my story that I posted on the internet? Is everyone in the dark? Like, is everyone like, no, he wasn't in jail. He was here. He was hanging out. He's playing video games. It's just awesome. But in my mind, it's like, wait, the same guy who proved to me that God exists, proved to me this happened. I'm like, wait, suppose I pulled out a paper and matter of fact, I've still got like my inmate ID and stuff like that from prison. Matter of fact, I still have the inmate ID from shortly after I was fasting. It still says I was 155 pounds.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, yeah, that's like part of me right now. That would be part of my body. But it's like the same guy proved to me. I was like, wait, if I held up my inmate ID, you'd be like, oh, no. What, you couldn't say I printed that? So it's just, I don't know. It's kind of fun. That video is kind of fun.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, check out his testimony video. Just type in David Wood testimony. Come up. It's crazy. I am our Iranian.